Okay, so let's just dive right into the big one. This is the question that's been hanging over, well, pretty much the entire tech industry. Will AI actually replace software engineers? We're going to break down what's really going on.
Now, when you hear something like this, you might think, well, that's it, game over. And this is coming from a seasoned developer who's gone all in on AI tools. But here's the really fascinating part. Even though he's using AI for almost everything, he doesn't see it as a replacement at all. It's something else.
So instead of thinking about AI as a replacement, what we're seeing from developers who are in the trenches with these tools every day is a totally different model. Think of AI as a new kind of teammate, a collaborator.
And this really gets to the heart of it. It's not like you just give a command and walk away. An engineer tells the AI what to do, the AI spits out some code, and then the real work begins. The engineer has to check it, give feedback, point out what it misunderstood. It's a constant conversation, a very, very involved process.
Okay, so this whole collaborative process, it actually splits into two very different styles of working. It all depends on what kind of project you're on. And you really need to understand this difference to get what AI's real role is.
So this breaks down into two main approaches. The first is something people are calling vibe coding, and the second is, actual professional software engineering, just with AI as a new tool in the toolbox.
And here's the split. With vibe coding, you basically let the AI do everything. You don't even look at the code. You just click around the app and see if it works. And that's actually great for a quick and dirty side project where you just want to get user feedback super fast. But for professional work, totally different ballgame. You use AI to generate the code, sure, but then you have to review and understand every single line of it. So this is that vibe coding loop. It's super simple, right? A hands-off cycle. Give a command, test the result, tell the AI what's broken, and just repeat. You never actually touch the code. It's fast, it's iterative, but it has a ceiling, a big one.
And that ceiling is exactly why the fundamental skills of a software engineer are actually becoming more important, not less. The whole idea that you can just ignore the code, yeah, that breaks down really, really fast.
Look, this hands-off approach only works for the simplest of applications. The moment you step into the world of professional, production-level software, just clicking around to see if things work is no longer a viable strategy. Not even close.
I mean, just think about it. Professional apps are connected to all sorts of other services. Sometimes you have to get a user account into a very specific, weird state just to test one tiny feature. You might need a mountain of test data. And what if you're on a team with 5 other engineers all pushing changes? It's literally impossible to know what's going on without looking directly at the code.
And here's the big aha moment. Once that complexity ramps up, it actually becomes faster and more efficient to just read the code the AI wrote than to try and test everything from the outside. The code itself becomes the shortcut.
This leads to a huge mental shift. A lot of people, and I mean a lot, see code as this barrier, this complicated mess you have to wrestle with to get a feature working, but that's just not the right way to look at it anymore. The code itself, that's the value. It is the absolute source of truth for what your application does. And in a world where AI is generating tons of stuff, having that precise, verifiable asset, that's everything. Let's just hammer this home. Code is precise. Unlike an AI's fluffy summary, code tells you exactly what's going to happen. No ambiguity. It's also concise. You can just scan it and instantly see if the AI understood your requirements or if it went off the rails. It is by far the most efficient way to check the AI's homework.
All right, but let's talk about the other big argument, the other big fear. Even if engineers aren't being replaced one-to-one, what if AI just makes them so darn efficient that companies just need fewer of them?
This is a totally fair question. The logic kind of makes sense, right? If one engineer can now do the work of 2, why would a company keep paying both? But this way of thinking completely misses the fundamental driver of the tech industry.
So tech companies basically face this choice every time a new efficiency tool comes along. Choice A, keep building the same amount of stuff, but with a smaller team. Or choice B, keep the same team and just produce way more stuff. Build more features, launch new products, go after new markets.
And time again, they pick option B. Why? Because the market, investors, Wall Street, they reward growth, not stagnation. They want to see more revenue this quarter than last quarter. The whole incentive is to use these new tools to build more, faster, not to build the same amount with fewer people.
And you know what? The numbers back this up. We all see those scary headlines about layoffs, But that is such a small piece of the puzzle. The news almost never covers the constant rehiring. The truth is, the total number of people employed by major tech companies is still near its all-time high, way higher than it was in what we considered the strong job markets of 2018 or 2019.
So, what does this all mean for you, for anyone in this field? The path forward isn't about choosing one skill and ditching the other. It's all about integration.
You've probably heard this phrase a million times by now. And it's true. But for software engineering, it needs a really important piece of context. That someone using AI, it's not a non-coder who just figured out how to write a good prompt. No, it's an experienced software engineer who already has all the deep, fundamental skills and is now just adding AI to their toolkit, making them an absolute powerhouse.
And really, that's the bottom line. It's the critical question. If you're going up against someone who understands system design, architecture, and can write clean code, and they also know how to boss an AI around, how can a person who only knows the AI part possibly compete? The simple answer is, they can't.
So the takeaway here is not to learn AI instead of code, it's to learn AI and to learn code. You combine these skills, that's how you don't just survive this new era,